you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This morning we're going to be doing a short review and a drawing as a companion for the review process. So the wonderful people over at Boyata sent me this. This is a laptop stand. And, you know, at first I was kind of trepidatious about stepping out and reviewing a product that really I think is kind of self-explanatory. You know, we utilize these products. We look for things that really add to our, especially me as an artist and an illustrator, add to my work dynamic. And whenever the guys over there at Boyata sent me an email saying, hey, do you want to review this product? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I do a lot of reviews on the channel. And they said it's a laptop stand. And I thought to myself, okay, there's not a lot there in terms of utilizing it in the drawing process. But, you know, I'm always up for a good review to see what kind of product they have to offer. You guys know that I really, really love good design. I love good design. I like products that exhibit a quality feature and also something called perception of value. That's something in the design world that is labeled to a product that gives the purchaser or user a perception that what they have is worth more or is worth more than other products in the marketplace. So a product like Apple, for instance, whenever you pick an Apple product up, it feels different than other products like Samsung or some of the other phones or tablets out there. Now, granted, they've really, Samsung and some of those tablets have really stepped up in the past few years, but Apple is still a premium product and they charge a premium price. And whenever you pick up a product, and you can immediately tell, typically in the box. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do a simple, really rudimentary, simple unboxing. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to see what Boyata included in the box. I'm going to look at the box itself. I'm going to look at the design and just read off some of the features that it indicates that it has. And then we're going to do exactly what it's designed for. We're going to stick a laptop on it or a tablet and see how well it performs under the rigors of being a laptop stand. And it's I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek this morning because this is the type of product that really doesn't need a huge amount of review, but it's very important that it does exactly what it says it does. You can have a stack of books that props up a laptop, right? You can have just something really simplified, something made of plastic that props up your laptop or tablet or whatever you're going to be utilizing. And this is more or less to me like an easel. It can be an easel, right? You can stick a canvas on it. It is quite large. It says it fits tablets and laptops 11 to 17 inches. So even though it may not fit a huge canvas or a huge tablet, I think 17 inches is pretty robust whenever it comes to size and weight associated with that. It says it can be freely adjusted for different postures. So if you're Quasimodo that has a hunchback, or if you're prim and proper and you're going to go see the Queen, it fits those particular postures. Ergonomically designed, care is never absent. It always makes me giggle inside to see the verbiage that is on these packages, because a lot of times the translation, it doesn't translate well to the English language. So it's like that design right, or that particular sentence, ergonomically designed, comma, care is never absent. So I can obviously see that's a translation issue. Focus on quality, more durable, more stable. And that's something that as a user and users in general, we want to make sure that it's going to be a good investment. You want that return on investment. I talk a lot about that on my channel. So says it's adjustable, which is awesome. The tilt angle can be adjusted, relieve the stiffness of your back and neck. Again, that translation, they're trying to explain, and fill up the space on the packaging. The most suitable angle is 30 degrees. It is easy to fall if the angle is too large. Again, It just makes me laugh. So, and suitable for people of different heights, which I hope so, because you can place it up higher or lower. And all these things are very apparent and very easy to understand. But we're going to get into this really quick. I want to make sure and cover all the aspects of this product, because even though they sent this to me free of charge, they were explicit in indicating that I was to give my opinion truthfully, freely, and use it as much as I wanted to, because at the end of the day, there is a exchange going on here. I do the video and review, they send me the product, I don't have to pay for it. So that's pretty plain and simple, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so before we do the actual unboxing, I just wanted to visit the Amazon presence that Boyata has. So I'm looking here, I went ahead and just put in Boyata, as obviously as anybody would do here. And I do have Amazon Prime, so it's pulling all the Prime free shipping, one-day shipping, so on and so forth, first. But the one that they sent me, which is this one right here, the Boyata stand, has the venting. And you can see that based upon the number of reviews, you can see that it's just, I mean, it's very hard to get almost 5 out of 5 on Amazon, even at almost 5,000 reviews. You know, it says, at first I was very skeptical on how this product was going to perform, but I'm pleasantly surprised. It surpassed my expectations. And as you go through and you see the photographs of the item represented in what it does and the sizing, and you know, it shows that it is adjustable, and the quality, you know, based upon the pictures, I would definitely purchase this based upon the pictures. It says maximum load bearing capacity of 20 kg, so kilograms. I don't know what the transfer rate is for kilograms to pound, but I'm sure it's probably well over 4 to 5 pounds. And then it shows the rotation from medium, low to high, and the venting feature that it helps keep your laptop cool. And, you know, it says it supports up to a 17-inch, which is awesome. You know, it's a big laptop. So you're going through, and they have other items that they sell here on Amazon. And I'm sure as the design process has progressed, they've refined their designs, they've upgraded the products, you know, as they've continued, so on and so forth. And I mean, like this one right here used to be $29.99, now is $19.99, and it looks like one of the only things that it really is different about it would be the cooling, little cooling star on the back. And it does have the rubber stops. And if you have any questions, you know, just go in and review and read some of the reviews. That's, you know, reviews are really helpful. Here's another one, the monitor stand, which is looks like an anodized black. And this is an adjustable monitor riser. So this would be for like a monitor. So they sell a variety of products. And of course, as you see, if indeed you decide to purchase one of these products off Amazon, there is a coupon. You can save $6 with a coupon, $5, $6. So you can probably get this for, you know, around $25, $26 shipped to your home with tax. So that's pretty awesome. And here is the star of the show. So I'm looking at the box itself. The box is average. I mean, it is what it is. Looks like there's a little bit of pressure damage on shipping. The inking is coming off just a little bit at the top. So, you know, every company has to cut corners at different places, and packaging is probably where Boyata has just skimped a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the day, it really does the job which it's designed to do, which is protect the product, make sure that it explains all of the features of the laptop stand, and the color saturation is pretty good, and it displays the product in a 3/4 view very easily to read. So, improved body posture, adjustable height, heat dissipation, and it shows that it fits 11 to 17 inches. Here's the name of it, a laptop stand, and it comes in different languages from German, and it looks like here's the Chinese characters, and of course English. And you flip it over, and you have whole nother myriad of indications that it does. We're not going to go through these too much, but it does indicate certain features: anti-skid silicone mat, load bearing up to 20 kilograms, well organized. You can place things under the stand itself. Large supporting area, collapsible design. So if you want to take it with you, that's really cool. A protective hook, and of course the all-important aluminum alloy that it is made of. So let's go ahead and open it. It's got a tongue, little flap there. So we open this up. I have not opened this up yet. This is literally the first time I've opened this up. I wanted to have the same experience that you're having. It comes with a little card, and it indicates it's our pleasure to meet you. Happy? Would you please share your experience on Amazon? Unhappy? Could you please first contact us? We'll try to solve all issues for us. And they show an email, and it indicates the company name with the different characters underneath. Thank you for purchasing. Now, this card, very well, they didn't have to do this. A very well executed card. So let's go ahead and put that to the side. And it's wrapped in plastic. I'm not really sure why it's wrapped in plastic, but it is. So let's go ahead and put the box to the side. And it indicates that it went through a quality control, a QC process. So QC 07. And it's passed. So you had somebody actually look at the item before they boxed it up. And that's pretty standard operating procedure when it comes to manufacturing of items like this. I'm not really sure why they put it in a plastic bag. Maybe that's that added protection. It doesn't have any kind of electronics or anything like that. Maybe it has to do with moisture. I really don't know. So let's go ahead and flip it over. First of all, it's not heavy. Obviously, being made of aluminum, it's going to not be super heavy, which is very good. And just overall, it looks like it's bead blasted. Bead blasted meaning you have the raw aluminum, and then they take a aggregate such as sand or a plastic bead, and they blast it, and it doesn't look like it's painted. I don't want to go scratching anything. So you have these silicone pads on the bottom. I can tell you right now they're very grippy. So I would feel very secure in placing it on a table at this angle. I think this is probably, it's not quite 45 degrees. I'd say 30 degrees maybe. So even on the smooth Bristol board, which is what I draw on, do morning sketches and different types of artwork, even placing it on here, I'm pulling it down with decent force and it's not coming down. So it utilizes the same silicone material up here to hold the laptop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the bottom and I'm going to pull up on it. It takes a considerable amount of force. I'm pretty strong. It takes muscles to do it. So that is actually a good thing because it indicates that it will indeed support that 20 kilogram weight. So, and then pressing it down, I am having to push it quite a bit. So I feel secure in knowing that yes, it will hold a 5 to 7 pound laptop. So we're going to go ahead and push this all the way up and it's maximum. So that would be 90 degrees. And then we go ahead and press this up all the way to the top. Okay, I don't want to go too much out of frame. So I would probably have it at this angle right here, which, you know, is pretty good. Let's go ahead and zoom out just a little bit if I can. There we go. So as you see, they've got the company name, which looks like it's laser etched into the bottom. The footprint is not very big, and footprint being the area that the laptop stand requires to have. It is placed a little bit forward, so I would, on a 30-degree angle, you can see that it is quite forward of the base. The base doesn't come out here, so top right here, or some type of tablet. So I'll grab my iPad Pro, and it doesn't have any problem at all holding it. At this angle, obviously, you know, I'm not going to leave it because if I hit it, it will go over, but that's because of the angle of the table, not, and you can put it back just slightly. and have it here. And what's nice is if I decide that I want to utilize this particular stand as like an easel, so let's go ahead and open the iPad. So let's, good. So having this as an iPad stand is absolutely phenomenal. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay. So this is really great. So I'm used to having my iPad set on my lap or have it, you know, have it on the table here. And I do like the angle that I have right here because this is the normal drawing angle. But I would definitely love, I'm definitely going to love having this particular laptop stand at this angle for my iPad. How does it roll with a laptop? So here's my Lenovo laptop, and I would typically open it up and have it configured in its clamshell like this, because this is an all-in-one, so I would definitely draw with it like this, and I would have my quick key remote on the side like this, and I would draw. Yeah, I mean, I do feel a little bit of bounce, but that's nothing that is out of control. It doesn't, even if I were to press hard, so I'm going to press hard on it, I literally have to put my weight on it for it to go down. So I would feel extremely secure in drawing on this like this. And this is a larger laptop. I think this is 14 inches. So this has no problem at all. And with those silicone pads, it's not moving at all. So literally, it's probably one of the most secure stands that I've ever seen. And then of course you have the cooling vents on the back, on the bottom, excuse me, on the bottom side. And even going so far as to use this particular stand as a tablet. This is a tablet manufactured by one of the tablet companies called XP Pen, and I could utilize the stand as, again, something that I would use to prop up this tablet, and I could draw on it. So this is fantastic. This is one of those things that, even though we look at it as being so rudimentary and baseline in terms of function, the thing that really is great is it does exactly what it says it does. And if I decide I want to go ahead and press, you know, push it up, I'll take my tablet off. I can raise it up. I can have that right in front of me. And I can draw on it. And the posture, that's what's important. Posture, posture, posture. If you're drawing for hours and hours and hours and you don't have proper posture, it's going to destroy your shoulder, it's going to hurt your neck, it's going to hurt your lower back, your upper back, it's going to cause you not to want to draw. And that is a big no-no. So far, this is fantastic. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw something really simple on the iPad. Okay, so I've placed my iPad on the Boyata laptop stand, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to draw something really simple. I've got a, looks like a toucan bird on the side there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a really quick sketch and see how the item performs. It's been a while since I've drawn on my iPad. I love drawing on the iPad. And this particular device could be a great companion, I believe, for the iPad, especially if you're going to be drawing at all. You know, utilizing your iPad in that drawing capacity. All right. I'm not getting a lot of bounce, which is extremely important because whenever I'm pressing down on the iPad, I want it to be a solid surface because I don't want that tactile feedback coming back at me. And so far, it's actually really solid, and I'm very surprised. So hopefully everybody's having a fantastic week. I know it's been a little while since I've made a video, but, you know, I'm always thinking about you. You're like, I don't care. Just make a video. All right, so let's go ahead and give the wing. Birds are one of those fun things that I really love to draw. And I say they're easy, but, you know, birds in and of themselves, they're just as complex as any other animal. It's just they're encased in a wonderful feather, you know, shell. And, you know, you can utilize the simplicity of that feather shell to really just, I'm trying to do stuff while I talk, to really just, you know, explore and have some fun and, you know. So it's very important, again, as I progress through this, I pay attention to not only the angle of how I'm drawing and the feedback and the bounce, but also, you know, the iPad's not moving around, which is really important. You know, and then you think, okay, so let's look at this from a practical standpoint. Let's think, okay, so it's a good device, or it's a good, it does its job, right? That's what's the most important. But is it going to last? Well, it's made of aluminum, and it doesn't look like it's going to bend anytime soon, which is really good. It's safe for the environment because it can be recycled. That's important. So if later on down the line, you know, I decide to upgrade, or I want to, you know, utilize a larger, you know, if I get a bigger laptop or something, then, you know, what am I going to do with this one? Well, you can always recycle it, and at the $30 price point, you know, where you can get that coupon at $25, then yeah, you can basically be rest assured that, you know, if you don't use it as a laptop stand, you could probably use it for, you know, a frame stand or something along those lines, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to come back. Okay, so now that I've put the roadmap in, and I talk a little bit about this in my channel, that drawing roadmap. You know, you look at it, and I'm just comparing it over. I wanted to give it a little bit more cartoony look. As I progress through. Okay, let's go ahead and draw it all the way around here. Let's draw this up, around. Understanding the construction of how the beak is, and then you go into the eye socket right here, and then we'll come around and we'll just put an indication of the different color panels that are in the beak. So let's go ahead and do this. Have that little chest area, the breastplate right there. Okay. Now we've got this, comes around. It almost looks like he has a little hat on, if you can see that right there. I'm just basically looking at that. So then we're going to have maybe an indication here. And then we're going to come down here. Excuse me. And then we're going to start focusing a little bit more on the legs. Again, we've got this, all these feathers which hide the anatomy of the bird. So it's important that you understand, you know, the anatomy of a bird, but it's always good. One of the things that you need to do is look at reference. Reference is reference is your friend. Don't be a quote unquote slave to reference. So don't, you know, just explicitly do something and say, oh, I can't change it, or I can't change the position. It's important, again, to explore and find your way in the drawing. A lot of times the drawing will tell you what it wants, what it needs to be good. Whoops. Which I didn't want that repeat. That's a repeating pattern. Okay. So we'll come here. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the eye area. Again, this is just the rough sketch. We're not going in and putting too many details in just yet because we're still finding and refining. So we have these feather groupings that come around here. And you see how I draw these kind of construction lines? That helps me as an artist determine where I need to place things in the context of the drawing itself. Again, you know, I'm grabbing the back side of the stand a little bit to help secure, but honestly, if I wanted to, I could just put my other hand here and I could draw as needed. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of value in here. Again, I'm not getting a whole lot of bounce, just a little bounce here and there, which is that spring, you know, here in the round part in the back here. That has to do with the, you know, the pivot point. Obviously, if there's going to be give, you're going to get slight bounce, but not a lot. I mean, it's not like going to be bouncing and be irritating. Good, good. A little bit of shadow here. And you notice I didn't really get into the feet too much. I just went ahead and just drew real simplified indications of the feet. There are 3 toes. 1, 2, looks like 2 toes. Is that 2 toes or 3 toes? It's 2 toes and the third in the back. 2 toes, so it's going to be 2 toes. Okay. The other one comes down and wraps around that tree. And here's the second, kind of comes in. Been drawing a lot of dinosaurs lately. And it never ceases to amaze me the similarities between birds and dinosaurs. Whoops. Let's go ahead and do this. Comes around. We're going to shade that in slightly. Okay, now we're going to focus a little bit on the eye because the eyes are very important when it comes to characters. So let's go ahead and we'll do a white. And there's the, whoops, a little bit lighter. You can see I've got a little bit of a boo-boo happening on my iPad. You know, it's important that you have, whenever you have devices like this, that you take very good care of them. And sometimes accidents happen, and that's fine. Still works great. Let's come here. We're going to go ahead and place this up here on the left-hand side. Okay, so now we've got our sketch really ironed out. Let's give a little bit more texture here. So on and so forth. And we'll shade that in slightly, a little bit of value. Very good. Okay, he's got a little bit of poke through. Little bit of poke through. I lost my image. Okay. Comes around. And you see how he's leaning forward a little bit. And you've got this line of action that comes around here like that. So all the weight, he's pushing forward. So you're going to have this one raised up a little bit. And it's going to be, even though a lot of the weight is right here, you can feel that tension occurring. And see, I've changed the position a little bit, again, not being slave to reference, because I want him, again, it has that action that pushes you up towards that eye somewhat. So far, the laptop stand / drawing pad, I would even indicate that it's a drawing pad stand. You could have this as a drawing companion, you know, sit at a desk, and my posture is upright, which is important. I don't want to have to stop and you know, go and get a massage, which I would love to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and broaden my brush a little bit, and we're going to put in a little bit more value here and there. Shadow, shading, breaking up and not being so, you know, focused on feathers. I'm going to, again, widen that brush a little bit. I'm thinking in terms of shadow shapes right now and how I can simplify things somewhat. Okay. Let's go ahead and have these, which again, a little bit of a silhouette. And now that I've gotten my, let's go ahead and move this up just slightly. Move that up just slightly. We're going to move it over to the left slightly. Okay, go back. And now we can place this up. Maybe it splits off, and maybe we've got a little bit of foliage here and there. Good. Now we've got this, and it's working out really nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and put that on a transparent layer. And we're going to add a layer. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so now we're a little bit closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing in the context of the drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my brush. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Where'd my reference go? There it is. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on his eyeball. Again, we're not, you know, I'm not wanting to belabor and you know, go in and do a bunch of rendering on this. I just wanted to show you the value of a product like this because you can utilize it in so many different ways. I'm sure whenever they developed this particular product, they didn't think, oh, it's going to be a great laptop support, or not laptop, it's going to be a great tablet supporter. You know, I look on sites like your XP Pen, your Wacom, you know, and they do sell these tablet holders and the stands and stuff. And a lot of them are expensive. I mean, it's $50, $75, and they don't include them. A lot of times they don't include them with, you know, the tablet you're purchasing. So I would definitely consider this a great value as I progress through my drawing. So let's go ahead and, the feathers are, I mean, you can spend as much time as you want. I like doing, my philosophy is, whenever it comes to feathers, is, let's go ahead and put this away just slightly. I don't want to get too much of a glare. Whoops. I always say less is more, especially in the context of hair and hair and fur. You know, less is more. So he's got this, looks like panel of fur that goes over his beak. That's cool. It comes here, and then it kind of juts out just slightly. And then, you know, you want to draw a straight line, right? But that's not how birds' beaks are, especially ones that have been in the, I say theater, the ones that have been in theater for a while. They've got a little bit of mileage on them, so you're going to see some variance. You're going to see some, you know, a little bit of, maybe they latched onto something that isn't quite good. So you're going to see that variable of line and variation of line weight. You know, I talk about that. You don't want the same line weight for everything. So then we come back. Let's go back to our reference. You know, a little bit here. You've got here. And you've got, again, I'm talking about the life that the bird has led up until this point where that picture was taken for the reference. And what I like to do early on is I like to put a little bit of eye shine in there. We need to go white. So we're going to put a little bit of eye shine right there. To me, it gives him just that little bit of life that helps me draw, you know. So let's go ahead and down. And what's great about the iPad in Procreate, and that's the program I'm using, by the way, if you're wondering, it is Procreate. Whoops. Procreate's a great program. Is it a professional program? I've talked about that before. Yes, it is. But you can utilize many different programs in a professional capacity. Procreate is just literally one of them, and it's improving all the time. It now does three-dimensional manipulation. You can paint 3D models. I'm sure eventually they might even include some type of sculpting. But currently it's just, its strength lies in the painting capacity. So then we come back. Let's go ahead and zoom out of our reference. And now I call it, I don't want to say paint by numbers, because nothing is ever paint by numbers, right? Every single piece has a different feel. Every single piece has a different character. You never want to put things on autopilot and just draw blindly. You want to explore and have fun, and that's what keeps drawing lively overall, to me at least. Everybody's a different animal. I remember back in the day working at the studio, the big studio, the big boys, I would routinely meet people that wouldn't draw in their private time. And I'm like, how do you not draw in your private time? Are you not improving and exploring? And, one of the things that was brought up was, I draw 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Why am I going to go home and draw again for 6, 7, 8 hours? Or even an hour, or even 30 minutes. Why do I do that? Why? I need to get away. Basically that's what the philosophy was. And I'm like, well, there is an importance to that time away, but there's also an importance to doing your own thing. Whenever you're at the studio, you're working under deadlines, you're working under pressure, and you're doing things for somebody else or another entity. So there's a philosophy that changes in your mindset that I'm going to do it until I see that it's quote unquote acceptable. And if I can get it at that, whatever level my standard is, then hopefully it will match the standard of the people paying me for what I'm doing. And a lot of times, their standard is different from yours. Maybe your standard is high, and, their measurement of how they're paying you is high, but also they want a decent quality piece, but they don't want to spend too much time on it. And I heard that a lot whenever I was at the studio. I don't want you to spend too much time on it, and it's like their way of saying, that time is money, and I don't want you to overrun the budget. And that's important because there are budgets there. But whenever you're in your private time, you have time to explore. You have time to fail, and you have time to see what you like, and that's very important. And I think that those that don't do their own thing in their own time, then they're really just short-sighting themselves to be a better artist, especially if eventually that particular studio, suddenly something happens and they have to close down, and then what do you have? You don't have your own thing going, and that to me is a shame. You always want to have something going that betters you in some way. All right, so that's why if you look around my studio, I've done tours, and you can look on the channel and you can see pretty much there's tons of drawings that I have. And you're like, wow, when did you do all those? I did them in my private time. I did them whenever I wasn't working for somebody else. I did them as an exploration. And, it's very important that you have that. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead, and we're just doing a little bit of textures here and there. And like I said before, the quote-unquote laptop stand, which, it is a laptop stand. It's designed that way, but it's also a tablet stand. You can... That's cool. The posture is just fantastic. And you're like, dude, I can change my posture any way I want to. Yeah, but sometimes certain things work against you, and I'm all for something that doesn't inhibit my creativity. And so far, this particular product has actually added to my creative juices. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's go back to the reference really quick. Okay, good. Let's draw one down. You hear the birds in the background. It is springtime up here in the mountains of North Georgia, which means rain. Tons of rain. Oh my gosh, there's so much rain. I always thought that a place like Seattle, Washington was, you know, somewhere that I never wanted to be because of all the rain. And then I find out we have almost as much rain as Seattle does. So we're kind of like a rainforest here. I mean, it rains so much. And it doesn't rain like one day. It's like one day, okay, I can handle that. It rains like 5 days in a row. And then you get, you know, flash flooding. You get saturation of ground. And then the sun comes out and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. I love the sun. I'm a sunshine guy. I love the sunshine. I love being in it. I love having it on my skin. I mean, it just makes me feel good. It's probably why I loved living in Florida so much. I lived in Florida for so many years. And of course, they had rain too. But man, it's just one of those deals where it would rain for 30 minutes. And it would be like World War III rain. And, you know, the stuff that dropping the thunderstorms would happen, and it was horrendous. Of course, we had hurricanes, and you're like, dude, hurricanes, nah, it's not as big of a deal as you think. You get many days in advance warning, and you can prepare, but man, the thunderstorms were horrendous. But man, it would rain, and then the sun would come out, and it'd be like, you know, the sun will come out tomorrow. And you're like, yes, I love the sun. I love it. It's so good. Okay, so not too busy, not too not too convoluted. Just a sketch, just to show you the capabilities, not only of Procreate, but also this laptop stand. I keep going back to that, obviously, because that's why I'm doing the video for a review, and I want it to stay relevant as we progress through. But yeah, I mean, it's a laptop stand. It's a possible easel for you to paint. It's a lot more than just a laptop stand. I mean, okay, so let's do this and that, this. I once had a student, you know, who didn't really berate me. They're like, you know, you go through the process, and I'm trying to follow along, and you're like, you do this, and this, and that, and this, and that, and then boom, there's a picture. I'm like, how do you do that? Well, it's all in the parts. You know, you just do a little part at a time. Little part at a time. Little part at a time. And that's all they do, really, when you think about it. So let's get rid of that underdrawing. Okay, so let's go back. I don't like getting rid of the drawing altogether, because for me it adds just a little bit of life, right? Just a little bit of life. So we're going to put a little bit more value. Let's go ahead and ratchet up this value inside of this guy. Again, Procreate is one of those wonderful programs that has so many different types of brushes, and the sensitivity of the Apple Pencil. I mean, it's just wonderful. So let's go ahead and we'll zoom in just a little bit. Give a little bit of value here. A little bit of value there. Okay. Paying attention to the reference, but not being a slave to the reference. Let's go back. Okay. Dark. So let's go ahead and put dark here. Putting that shadow. Now, this is one of the reasons why, and a lot of people ask me why I work on a gray background. So what I'm doing right now is my brain sees the picture, right? It sees this, okay? And it perceives value structure, and it has lights and darks. What I'm doing right now here is very counterintuitive, because I'm working on a very stark white background, so I have to push my darkest darks and my lightest, and the white being the lightest lights, so it's kind of fighting against me the entire time. And that's typically why I go ahead and I use a colored background, because again, it helps me, and that value structure whenever I'm going to be putting in color, which we won't be putting in color today. Maybe a different day. I didn't want this video to be 5 years long. So again, let's put in that value right there. Simple pencil drawing to show you the attributes of, a little bit of a shadow right here, the attributes of this particular item, being the tablet/laptop stand. And for those of you who are interested in the pencil that I'm using, this pencil, the brush is actually from, excuse me, another artist by the name of Aaron Blaze, and you should definitely check him out. Just Google him, Aaron Blaze, and you'll pull up his site, and you can see everything that he has, and you can buy his brushes and support him in his endeavors. He's a really great artist. He was one of the co-directors of Brother Bear, and he was a Disney animator for over 25, 26 years. So definitely, he's got some great stuff over there. So, and then of course, I'll go ahead and enlarge my brush. I'll add a layer. Let's go ahead and have that underneath. Hold, drag underneath. Okay, let's go back to the brush. Pastel B. Okay, let's do Pastel C again. I like that brush a lot. Let's make it really big. Even putting this gray value there really just helps balance everything out, as you can see. You know, we can go in and place things in there. Let's go back to our other layer. Whoops. Okay, put a little bit of texture in. Whoops. A little bit of texture in. Make that brush a little bit smaller. Okay. I think that's where I wanted to land with you guys when it comes to this particular review. Maybe I'd even go so far as adding a layer, putting some white in there. You know, maybe it's just a little bit right here, highlight right here, highlight right here. Having some fun. Isn't that what it's about? Drawing, having some fun. And I want to put a little bit of a highlight on his eye. Go all the way up. Change that. Let's go white. Okay. Whoops. A little bit too big. Let's make that a little bit smaller. There we go. Alrighty. And that's really where I wanted to land with this particular review. So whenever it comes to items like this, you know, as a reviewer, I have to keep diving in deeper and deeper and deeper to see what the applications are for something like this. It's very rudimentary and very simple. And the reality is does the Boyata laptop stand do what it is supposed to do? Absolutely. And it does it in droves. It does it with positive experience, and it doesn't inhibit my creativity as an artist. There are a lot of laptop stands out there, and I'm sure some of them are just as good as this one, but at a $30 price point with a possible coupon, I think that you can definitely be assured that the purchase would be fantastic. I'm going to use this particular stand not as a laptop stand, but as a tablet stand. And as an artist, we always want those items, those companion items, to work, and it supports such a high quote-unquote poundage. I would feel so secure in putting, even some of the heavier tablets that I have on there that don't come with stands, right? The XP Pen 22 HD that it's a 22-inch tablet. Would I put it on this stand? I would do it just for fun, but I think it would probably be a little bit too big. But for something like an iPad, they have so many, it's branded. They have so many branded iPad. The second you stick Apple/iPad on something, suddenly the price goes through the roof. And for somebody like me, that every dollar counts, especially, now in today's day and age, every dollar counts in my business, in my illustration business. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. I know that I talked a lot, but my main focus is always going to be on drawing. It's always going to be on creation. It's always going to be on that experience of creating something visually. And this particular stand doesn't inhibit me from creativity. And as far as I can tell, it's probably going to be lasting, you know, years and years and years. It could be 15, 20 years down the road. And I still have this particular laptop stand, using it all the time, helping with me with my posture, helping me create images for you guys and videos for you guys. So thank you again for the view. Hopefully you like and subscribe what you see. And just as a bonus, I'll put down the link to this particular stand if you're interested. You evaluate and read some of the reviews and you know, think that hopefully that my review helped you either positively or it definitely reaffirmed a negative that you have about items like this. But hopefully it's a positive thing. So either way, you're going to decide. It's up to you. You know, I'm just here to show you what I think as a professional. Anyway, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time, okay? Bye.
Yeah.